Alright, welcome to the stream, everybody. Please let me know if you are experiencing any types of issues at all with the stream with regards to audio, leveling, and all of that sort of stuff. They check things out beforehand, but you always want to double check. Thanks for coming out today on this Sunday. We're going to be modeling the next What Really Happened videos ride, which is a Jetline at Gruneland. This particular ride, I do plan to use a lot of clips from No Limits 2 to try and simplify my workflow. I am not a pro at No Limits 2 by any means. I know very little about it, but I think it will be easier ultimately for this video's purposes than creating the entire thing in Blender. So the plan is to more or less only model the accident itself and its occurrence and a few of the things leading up to that in Blender, which is what we're going to be working on today. And then another part of this that I don't expect to do on the stream, but if there's anyone that ends up in here that is familiar with it, I do plan to export these trains to No Limits 2, which is again something I've never done. So that'll be a learning curve, as that will be easier ultimately for all the shots I need that are not of the accident itself occurring. So what we're going to be doing today is we are going to start with modeling the trains. So I actually have the trains from a previous video, the one on Lisebergbahnen, and we're going to be modifying those trains to work for Jetline. So that will be the plan for today's stream. What if a custom Vekoma boomerang would have been built? I mean, technically there kind of are custom Vekoma boomerangs, depending on how you classify it. They're all a little bit different too. But that's for a video I uploaded 2 weeks ago if you want to learn more about it. Alright, so over here I have my Lisebergbahnen from previous video. We are going to be taking this model and basically redoing it. Been on this ride a million times. Looking forward to seeing it covered. Yeah, thank you. Should be a nice video. Like I said, I've got a lot going into it. I believe one of these has working lap bars. Okay, it's the second train. And am I going to need that? Let me think. Yes, I believe I will need working lap bars for this one. So we will copy. Can I copy just select our lap bars? Oh, of course I joined all of this. We'll just copy this here. We can take it. Bring this to our cursor, and it's gigantic. Holy cow. Oh my god. Scale this down, and then we'll have something to work off of here. And make sure we delete our keyframes. That way this thing doesn't jump back. And then we are only going to need, I believe, 7 or 8 cars for Lisebergbahnen, so I'm going to have to do some modifying here, but that's the name of the game. Idea being this is going to be a lot easier than modeling these trains from the ground up, which would be the alternative. Same track as well, at least same track model, so we'll start with just getting the scale about right here. Just need to get our wheel assemblies to line up. What is going on? So like our entire lead car here is going to end up being remodeled anyway, so don't need to worry too much about this model. Just using it as a baseline to save us some time with this overall project. And thinking ahead, I am going to need, because of how this accident occurred, we are going to need some, the ability to kind of break this axle, especially on this lead car at least. So I got to think ahead with that. And then also I'm going to have to package this differently to work with No Limits. But again, one step at a time here. Lower that slightly. I think we got the scale just about right. Maybe a slight bit bigger. Slightly. And some clipping is okay, as long as I have room to adjust, because this is also not our final variation of this. So I joined, I'll do a skip note to self. What are we doing, Blender? I think it's selected the base. Oh my god, Jesus. Can we just work how I expect? I need to apply my transforms. Our guide wheels are a reasonable distance from the track there. I think that's about what we want. And as always, feel free to post your questions, comments, anything else in the live chat. I'll be periodically checking at that and responding to comments as they come in. Let's see here. Don't really need to worry too much about the alignment. We're going to place this on the track itself later. I just need somewhat of a baseline. And then car-wise, we're going to model our lead car separately, and then we're going to model one secondary car to kind of go from there. So looking at our reference image here, actually let me pull up the report on a different screen. You guys will not be able to see this. June 25th accident. Yep, correct. This, the final report came out a few months ago, and it's been on my radar ever since. So yes, we are finally getting to cover that. 7 cars. I believe this has 12. So that's 7 including our lead car. So we are going to be removing a lot of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So our back cars here. Let me make sure we get a clean break. And goodbye. All right. So there's our 7-car train. Looking better. All right, and now we're gonna have to do some other edits. Actually, I don't even want 7 cars because we're gonna make some major modifications to car 2 here. And make that our baseline. So we will delete these other cars. Alright. Now we got something nice and easy to work with here. Let's just separate these 2 cars. Because these 2, I think we're going to end up modeling separately. I think. Oh, I like how I did that. That's a nice texture. Let me think here. Because, I mean, these 2 are significantly different. Although, I guess this really is just an extended version. Alright, let's just model this car. And then we might redo this one, or we might just make it out of this one when we're done redoing it. Let's separate selection. And these we can clear parent. Cool. Clear parent and keep transform. And we're going to reparent them. Actually, let's set our origin first. And there we go. So our lap bars should now still be functioning. And we can separate our car here to actually get some work done on it. So we got a lot of materials on this. I think we're probably going to start over materially because there's probably a good amount of duplicates. This is kind of a messy, I mean, look at it's just an excessive amount of materials. So we'll start going through things one by one and clean out what we don't need and model what we do. Color wise, looks like we need kind of a black base, kind of like what we have. I do want to model a restraint unlock, which shouldn't be too bad. I might just have to make this chassis a little bit taller. And then other than that, we just need to get rid of, we don't need our circle textures anymore. We don't use that on this ride. And then, yeah, that should do us. These trains, Yeah, I think we'll be able to salvage these. Hope it'll still be faster than not just, you know, starting from scratch, but we'll see here. Let's get rid of our circle. Okay, heads up. The way that this was modeled means that we are gonna be kinda tight space-wise. I think this will do here. Alright, did we screw anything up with that? We lost a face, but I can put that back pretty easily. I see, we bullied these into the car. That's what's going on here. That should be fine. Oh. Alright, how are we looking? Okay, cool, cool. Alright, we can rejoin these faces. Just gotta make sure we select the correct vertices. This is not the cleanest model. There we go, that's back. And now for this side. And with that, we got that gone. Okay, so now our black texture on here we should probably change. Looks like our seats do stay that color, so we'll have to keep that in mind. Or truthfully, we might just make a new seat. This looks like a pretty simplistic seat I did here, which fair enough, didn't need to be anything more. So let's just try. If I remove this, what color do we lose? Nothing. Is there an easy way to like remove unused? Probably not. Well, probably. It's Blender, it can do everything. Models made from scratch. Some. Holy materials. I wonder if this copied all of the material data from that other project. It sure looks like it did. Holy cow. So the models originally, yes, are made from scratch. Everything here was made from scratch. However, for this specific video, all of these models have actually been taken from another project. In this case, the, what am I thinking of? Lisa Bergmannen video. Rigorama, Argentinian Intamin coaster that never opened to the public, but would have been one of the longest steel coasters in the world. Yeah, I think I've heard of that. Didn't open, or if it did open, it wasn't very long. I think we covered that back in the old days of like live streaming RCDB stuff. Good times. Yeah, add some thickness to these lap bars too. Alright, let's figure out these textures though. So I say let's just start, what could go wrong? Let's start removing textures until we find one that actually does something. Oh my. Were those wheels yellow? No, they were not. It's like, did I change anything? Nope, haven't hit a thing. Holy cow. Dude, I don't know what happened when I made these. It's over a year ago I made this model originally, so I'm very much in the dark as far as how it was made. That's okay. Again, part of the plan with this is to export this to No Limits 2. So that's going to be a whole nother aspect of this project. It's almost 2 a.m. around where you are. Oh, well, thanks for tuning in, but you should probably get some sleep. It is almost 2 p.m. here. Holy cow, dude, what is going on with these materials? This is ridiculous. Alright, can I bulk select? There's got to be a way. Remove unused slots. Oh, thank God. Thank you, Blender. Okay, that makes it better. We've been here clicking all day. Better off making new materials. That's the plan. So, we probably will do a lot of new materials. I just need to kind of figure out how I want to change this, because I don't want to separate pieces. Although, let's be honest here. I guess there's really only 3 or 4 colors that are really needed on the train. So let's you know what, I like that idea. Let's completely start over from materials, because our chassis and wheel bogies are going to be one color. Well, actually, our wheel bogies are one color, our chassis is another, and then our fiberglass is another, and then our seats are another. So doable. Rip GP2 enthusiasts. Some horrible designs. Yeah, sure. We'll go ahead and separate this. I think it's going to be our best bet. Chassis here, and then we will separate our selection. You know what, at least this is pretty low poly. Didn't do everything wrong when I made this. It's honestly a pretty simplistic design overall. Alright, separate. And now we should have this here. Perfect. So now we've got an actual chassis. Oh, we missed the wheel, upstop wheels. No biggie. There we go. Rip GP2 enthusiasts. Yes, indeed, dude. That was a great name for the time. It just aged poorly. It was meant with all the best intentions. You know what? It did well. Okay, so we got our chassis here. We got our body of the train here. Let's. Truthfully, I think we can get away. I want to separate the faces of our seats. I'm kind of thinking that just from a... because I guess our seat backs are going to be one color, and those will stick up above the train slightly. So, yeah, maybe that. This could come back to bite me, so it's a good thing I'm doing it, you know, on a stream in front of people. Okay, let's... So my idea here is to just separate all of the faces. I could just select faces, but we're already in vertice select, so... all the faces that make up the seat itself, and then we'll separate that, solidify it, and basically keep it with the black texture that we're going to use for the seats itself. And then the rest of the model we will basically recolor to the silverish set origin. Okay, that honestly, that might work. Want to try and do this as like efficiently as possible. Welcome back. No banking. No, there's banking on the track. Oh, there's no banking on the track. There was banking on the track. So, fun fact with this track, it is exported from No Limits. And there was banking on the track, I assure you, before I started the stream. So something I've done must have removed it. So we may just re-import the curve and figure that out from there. Thank you for pointing that out, because I literally would not have noticed that until I was starting to animate this, and would have been very annoyed. So we will fix the banking later, but yes, good eye. Let's see. Do you know of any of the frisbee cracking in half recently? See a video on X. Not sure if it was typical attention seeking or if a frisbee really cracked in half. So yeah, there's at least 2 or 3 instances I know of where that has happened. And both or all have been on Henan manufactured rides, which I have a video on. So I would recommend, if you haven't seen that, I talk about it briefly in there, but it's not something to be worried about as long as you are on a ride manufactured by a reputable manufacturer. And so if you are riding a ride in any really US state or anywhere within the European Union, and you are governed by ASTM and ISO and TUV standards, the rides literally can't even be certified to operate that have had that happen. But if you are riding a ride in another place, you want to be vigilant to make sure it is not one of those Henan manufactured rides and is an actual legitimate ride. So that is what that is. Yeah, they literally break apart like Legos. Okay, so our wheel axle assembly here is the right idea of shape. However, for this accident, it's going to play a lot bigger role in the animation than it did in the previous video where this was used in. So I'm going to take this and modify it significantly. What is with the chassis here? Why does it like indent? I don't know. I don't know why I made it the way I did. Oop. Okay. Separate. Okay. Set our origin. I keep doing that. Boom. Alright. Think I could make something higher quality than I had on company? Yeah, probably. Just wonder if something new or just interesting. Yeah, no worries. Fury, yeah. Yes. Interestingly, the whole situation of Fury, it's happened on a lot of different B&M rides over the years. It is not uncommon. It just happened to be photographed this time, which fair enough, but no danger. But anyway, where were we? Oh, you weren't sure if it was a new accident on such a Henan ride. Yeah, I haven't heard anything, but I'm typically try to stay off social media, so I, except for YouTube, obviously, because that's my, well, one of my jobs. So I'm not sure. I have not heard any specifics about it. A recent Henan province ride issue, but again, I wouldn't put it past that rides from that region. Alright. So we got our wheel assembly here. How does this compare? So, truthfully, we kind of cheaped out on the wheel assemblies when we did whatever this ride was called. For 325, I'd be very afraid. Yes, I wasn't going to point out the mistake because it's an innocent mistake. So I think we might end up, because the wheel assemblies are kind of a big deal in this accident, I might just model them from scratch, because I think what we have here worked for the other accident because they weren't really important, but for this one they are kind of important. So we'll stand by on this for now. We'll keep the chassis here, and we'll certainly recolor this, but I think this we'll come back to and redo properly. Okay, we still got a crap load of materials here to delete. And then our lap bar color, I believe it's just plain black on these, a bit of a more metallic black, which we can throw on. We'll raise this up, our seat insert, because that needs to stay the same. Check if the twist method on the curve Z is up. Like I said, it was there. Twist method. I don't know what menu that is in. I was doing stuff up here though. I'll wait for a second comment to try and figure that one out. Alright, so we already deleted. Alright, we go. That's better. Alright, so we're gonna remove the red because we don't need any red on this. No red, keep the black, and we are going to, let me separate by material. The one above material. Okay, thank you. I will check that in a second. Separate by material. There we go. Cool, cool. You lose this, and you join this. And then you can stay here. You two can be joined. There we go. Cleaning this up. All right, let's check this track. Should be Z up. Yeah, it looks like we are Z up. Oh, nope. Ah, nope, not definitely not. No worries though. We will simply replace our track. Well, our track curve, so to speak, here in a moment. Just remember something I'm going to tell you. Both the older video on Daring Like Artist Steel and the newer video are up. Yeah, it should be up. It should just be unlisted, which I believe you didn't take the yeah. I may have. Thanks for mentioning that. I think New Texas Giant is probably supposed to be unlisted as well, and not completely taken down. I'll check that right now. Let's see, New Texas. Old New Texas. Yeah, it's private. Here, I'll unlist it. It should only be able to be found, you know, if you're looking through the playlist or something like that is the idea. Which I believe Ride of Steel should be the same way. Yep, unlisted. So, yeah. Thank you for the catch, though, because New Texas Giant one is supposed to still be visible. I just didn't want it to be visible for people that are finding my videos for the first time. If they want to see the old version, see what's changed between me learning more about what actually happened and originally learning about it, then they're more than welcome to. Where's our origin? There we go. All right, let's change this texture. So we need it to be kind of like this here. Let's move our reference image over. Kind of that, I don't even know how you describe it, a silvery yellow, gold kind of color. Definitely a very unique colored ride. And I guess we should do this in our rendered view. Kind of got the clear coat going strong on it, so we'll keep that. Alright, let's get kind of a greenish silver. Oh, our material is the same. Let me fix this one first. Alright, which is this material? 1582. Alright, you're going to remove 1582. There we go. And then these should be fine. Yeah, those are different. You're telling me this uses all of these? Oh my god, well, again, one more reason to not use that wheel assembly. It's like a glittery silver. Gotcha. Glittery silver. Yeah, my photo here isn't the highest resolution. This is just from the accident report. I didn't like look for the best possible photo to model this off of, so we're gonna kind of freeforming it. I'm not excited to do this non-linear geometry at the front of the train, so any suggestions on that are welcome. But we'll be doing that here in a minute. Alright. Kind of a yellow in there. And we could probably add our glitteriness with a noise texture. Can still see it in the playlist. Yes, you should be able to. I want it to be visible in the playlist. I just don't want it to be visible to random people on the internet that don't know my channel. Let's add a solidify to this. Thicken this up a little bit. Perfect. I won't apply that yet, just in case there's anything else that needs changed. This color. How in depth do we want to go with the texture here? Silver, gotcha. Go with kind of a silver, less yellow, more silver. Introduce a little bit of that metallic tint. Yeah, there we go. It's getting better. And where's our coat? Clear coat coming on. I think that passes. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't know if we need to do any more in details than that. Let's see it with the seat placed inside. Let me push back the solidify modifier just a hair so we're not clipping. No, we're still going to clip through. Let me keep that as is then and bump this around a little bit. There we go. I think that's pretty acceptable. Again, we're all going for, that's a color maybe a little bit more grayish, but it's fine. Yeah, I'd say it's good. Perfect. I'm glad we're all in agreement. I think we'll stick with this. So ultimately the idea, this video is not going to be like the highest production what really happened. I want to give every topic all I can, but there is a certain point where it becomes a point of diminishing returns, and I do not want to pass that. Alright, let's join all of these, and we got our car. So this is our generic car. Our chassis, I think we do need to make a few modifications too. We were just going to extrude this bottom piece a little bit to make it a little bit taller, possibly bevel inwards a tiny bit. And then I think we're going to add a restraint release button just to make it a little bit more realistic, and it may potentially be used in the animation. If not, who cares? It's not hard. So let's do that. Move this over here, see how we're looking with everything all tied together. Looks pretty good. Again, this is not the highest budget what really happened. Alright. Just go down a hair more, and then we're going to extrude, and then bring our faces inward. To be honest, I don't want to deal with it. We're just going to do this. And actually, if I do it like this, I may get a better result close to what I'm looking for here. Go. I don't think we bevel in quite so much, yeah. Something kind of like that. Yeah, I'd say we just about get the job done with that. Nothing fancy. And with that underneath our car chassis, whatever you want to call it. There's definitely a word for it. Body? I don't know. Yeah, I'd say that communicates it rather well. Okay. Let's do our wheels. So we can use this kind of as a reference, but I think we're going to start over. So our wheel color is off, our wheel design is off, and again, this axle itself here needs to be very different because, again, on Lisa Bergbanen, where this model is from, these didn't play a role in the accident. They weren't important, but in this one, they are the focus of the video. So we will make something a little bit nicer. Let's bring our cursor over here, and we're going to start from scratch, I think. I don't know if I have any good models to pull it from. Actually, I might... Hold on, stand by. I'm gonna check a old Blender render to just see, so I don't feel like opening another blend file. But our video on, what's it called? The accident in China on the S&S coaster, those wheel assemblies are kind of similar. And we're doing anything to save, you know, a few minutes today. Assuming I can find where I have this animation itself saved. I'm gonna have to open the blend file, aren't I? I think so. Stand by. Everything app is gonna have to open here. Roller coaster. Alright, bullet coaster opening up. Alright, I have no idea what the hell was being rendered here. Alright, wheel assembly check. Those are not as similar as I thought. Dude, what is going on in this animation? Oh well. Again, no longer used. I have no clue. Well, doesn't matter because we are not using that. We're going to start from scratch. Woohoo. Alright, let's get ourselves a nice small cylinder that will form the basis of our wheels here. Debating if I do more segments, more vertices, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't want to make this render any harder than it's going to be on my computer. And my thought is it will probably look better in no limits if I do more vertices, because it's not going to follow like smooth shading rules and whatnot, but we shouldn't be looking at the wheel assemblies too close in no limits for this video. I'm kind of feeling like you know what, we're just going to do 64. I thought about it for a second. It's not that much more geometry. And ultimately, if I do want to use a closer up shot of the wheels in no limits, I'll have that flexibility with this. If I had a nickel for every time I made a wheel assembly in Blender. Scale right relative to the trains. These are fairly small wheels. Something like that. Yeah, I think that's about right. About what we had before. Yeah, we nailed it pretty good there. We're watching Kamen Rider and obscure yet impressive Dinosaurs 4-track roller coaster from Japanese World Fair appears in episode 8. That's cool. It's probably some of the rarest footage, or not rarest, but only footage of that ride. It's pretty hard to find much information on. Alright. How nice do we want to make these wheels? I think we make them nice. We're going all in today. Actually, before I do this, we're going to need that. Now we can do this. Cut. Now I could bevel that, but let's be honest, we're going to be pushing it with geometry anyway, so let's leave it as that. But let's go ahead and use this. Make another copy, just because I have a feeling we're going to need this. And we'll use this to cut the inside of the wheel here. You know what? I actually don't need to. How do I want to do these wheels? How realistic do we want? More geometry? Oh, no, less geometry. Don't Boolean. The constant battle. Because I believe how this works with no limits, and anyone who's done this before, let me know as well. But I believe the wheels will not be able to actually rotate in no limits. Again, if anyone out there has actually done an import of a custom train to no limits before, let me know. But I believe it will not allow me to actually have them move. So I think we're gonna have to make do with this. Let's get some textures rolling here so we can get a better feel for this. So it looks like we need kind of a white, just plain, worn down kind of looking texture for our wheel itself, which we are definitely going to start new of, and we're even going to name it after the disaster we looked at a moment ago. They can, but you don't know how. Fair enough, Falcon. Thank you for letting me know. Again, this is my first time ever importing a custom train in no limits. I don't normally touch no limits. This entire track layout that you're seeing here was imported from no limits, but I did not make the no limits coaster. I had someone else do that. So I have very little knowledge and skill in no limits. I can do some basic things, but that is all. Alright, for our wheels here, let's stick to the white. Let's increase our roughness, and I might throw on like a noise texture or something to get it to look a little bit more worn. So that'll have a minimal performance impact. There we go. Yeah, that's kind of the idea of what I was looking for. I can't believe something regarding nodes actually worked out pretty much exactly how I wanted the first try. Let's just change the scale here. Dude, it looks like we have marble wheels. Ooh. Interesting. No, that's not the direction I want to go with this. There we go. Kind of foggier look is kind of what we want. I think that's kind of good there. I don't want to make it too detailed because I don't want this to be obvious that this is not spinning. But fun fact: none of my animations wheels literally never spin in any of my animations, so not going to be all that different, but. Alright, and then we just need a simple metallic texture here. We'll go kind of a gray, bump the metallic all the way up, lower our roughness, something kind of like that. Cool, cool. And then we will just make a wheel axle next, which I'm just going to do by making this a little smaller. Perfect. Yeah, there we go. With color tracks, color tracks are more saturated. Yes, okay, I will change the color of the tracks. I literally made them right before I went live, just kind of to have something that was closer to the correct color. It'll be an easy one to change. We'll mess with that here in a moment. We'll do it right now. It's more saturated, so like more... I guess what do you mean by more saturated? We can up the metallic value here. That's not quite what we want. Just kind of more blue, I guess. Something closer to that. Again, ignore the lack of banking. We'll re-import that before the stream's done so you guys get an idea how it's going to look. Alright, and now we're going to make our assembly itself. Let's take a second and kind of analyze it. So it looks like our top and bottom half for our road and upstop wheels are fairly similar. A few different ways we can make it. Let's start with making our connection that runs along between the two wheels. And I think as far as our wheels themselves go, we might be in a position to go ahead and join these. Oh, let me fix the UVs. which one's different. UVs. What are we doing? Honestly, it's fine. Alright. No, here's what. This is stretching my Blender knowledge. Not really. Done this a handful of times. You just always forget things. Oh my god. They're all named UV map. Why? Trunks are really bright turquoise. Rest of the structure was a different shade of blue. Gotcha. I mean, I guess this is probably getting close. Let's can up the brightness a handful there. Or go kind of more turquoise like that. Kind of more of a strong like that. Is that what we're thinking? Alright. Let's go ahead and make ourselves this little wheel assembly here. So we're going to make the piece that goes kind of across between the two wheels. To do that accurately, let's go ahead and array this. Oh, wrong one. Other direction. Get a reasonable distance here compared to those other wheels for a reference point. That seems about right. Yeah, I'd say that's about perfect. Alright, perfect. Now let's add ourselves a crossbar, I guess. Looks great. Perfect. Glad we could nail it. Thank you for the heads up. That will be featured in the video. Otherwise, people would be complaining about it in the comments, so thank you. Alright, let's add ourselves a cube here. Get it down to a reasonable size. And we're going to do this. So, let's start with just flattening it out here. And we're gonna pull this over there. And I'm gonna need just a little bit of a rise here. Hold on. Do that. And pull these together. Go, and now we just need to shrink this down. Not quite such a dramatic sweeping turn. Yeah, something closer to that should do us. And then maybe just set these in slightly. Something about like that. Yeah, that'll do. Let's just make this a little thinner. I think we got one plate for our top wheel assembly. Scripts for trains on a Google Drive folder, but it won't. YouTube won't let me send the link. Oh, thank you very much. I did download some stuff for making scripts, but I would absolutely take anything else. Falcon, if you want, I would appreciate it if you'd email it to coaster.college@gmail.com. But no obligation to, of course. I appreciate you sending it over, or at least looking into it. Cool, so looks like this has a pretty similar texture to our track, which, by the way, I didn't name, so we'll give it a name, and we'll go ahead and throw that texture on here so we can get a better idea of what it looks like. Oh, that's cool. Very good. Okay, let's now go ahead and do the rest of the modeling here. Let's mirror this across. Well, do I want to do that yet? Let's see. Looks like our other wheel assemblies all use a very different connection, so we will go ahead and do that. Can always not apply it. There we go. We now have our wheel assemblies. Woohoo! Well, our road wheels. We got a ways to go. Alright, the rest of our assembly looks like it is kind of triangulated to a point and then extruded out. Yeah, okay, we could do something like that. These wheel assemblies are pretty bulky on these rides, weirdly enough. Just the axles are kind of chintzy, resulting in, well, not the original designer's problem. It was not for this ride, but it certainly could be seen as something of an oversight in the design, that these rides are prone to axle failures, whereas other rides are not, or at least are not in such a catastrophic way. But I wouldn't say it's exactly a Schwarzkopf problem specifically, because if it was made to the specs of Schwarzkopf, then this accident wouldn't have happened. But that is a topic for Saturday. I don't know if I want to go the extra mile with modeling the little indent in the middle between the two triangular pieces. I think we're probably going to say, we're going to go with no. I think we're just going to scale this how we need it and make ourselves a little shape here. Okay, so how do I want to do this? Nope, not like that. Take this down. And this is really going to go all the way to where we have our uplift wheels, so pretty considerable distance here. And then we are going to make it obviously bow to not hit the track. In a second. If we simply loop cut it and bring this out, and that's honestly kind of the direction we need here. But first, let me add 2 more loop cuts, and we're gonna bring those. Actually, let me do this. Bring those up. We're going to need a square piece up here for our friend, the block of metal that the uplift wheels mount on. I think our overall thing here is just a little too thick right now. That's better. And then we are going to extrude this little block. So I don't use keyboard shortcuts. Alright, something like that. And then that mounts our uplift wheels. And then that should be about what we want right here. I do want to make this contact this just a little bit more. That's easy enough. Oops. There we go. How we looking? Pretty good. Cool, cool. All right. let's continue with our uplift wheels. These should be pretty easy. Should honestly just be a clone of this. So let's go ahead and copy this. And then on the original, we can go ahead and apply our array, as these are not going to move. And then this one down here, we will scale and set our distance, because these wheels are a little bit smaller. Just a hair smaller. Not by much, it looks like. Something kind of like that. Made them really small in the other animation, but this here should be about what we need. Also, probably should make this actually sit directly over the track. There we go. I'd say that's about the right size there. And then our uplifts we'll do here in a second. Thank you so much, Falcon. Much appreciated. I will be doing that after this model is complete, which shouldn't be too long now. Let's go ahead and... Can't really reuse these because it looks like we got a pretty different setup down here. We do have shock absorbers on the, or I guess dampeners on the wheels down there, but I don't think we are going to add those for this for simplicity's sake. So we'll probably just remodel something kind of like what we got up top, and then we'll do our uplifts in a similar way. Let's go ahead and get our wheels for the uplift wheels though. Make these considerably smaller. And we're going to increase the distance on our array. Whoop, wrong thing. Hate that. We selected on one thing and move the other. There we go. That's about right for our uplifts. That's looking pretty decent, honestly. Alright, just gotta make some quick connections and we'll have ourselves a working wheel assembly. Let's apply this mirror because I don't think we're gonna need this anymore. We'll join these two. Get that color going. We're gonna copy this and we're gonna make this, because I want this to just be a little bit slightly different, you know, just to communicate. I also want to see, the plan is going to be EV because EV is just so good these days, but just to kind of see how we're looking for cycles in case I change my mind. Looks pretty good too. Yeah. We'll probably stick with EV though. Yeah, probably. For an animation like this, you can get away with it. The, which one was it? The boomerang one. Looked so much better in cycles, but I did not have 3 days to render all the different shots I needed of that. But believe it or not, I did do all of the River Rapids one in EV, which a lot of Blender longtime users were surprised by. But EV is pretty good. It's got ray tracing now, so you can make some nice stuff with it. Okay, and kind of a triangle goes across. Leave some majority of the wheel exposed. go. Something like that. Yeah, it'd kind of fit in our bill here. Another case where things don't have to be perfect on this model. That's the truth for all of the models I make, but let's give it another face here. Let's bring this one in. So I don't need that. Let me do this. Yeah, something along those lines is kind of what we're going for here. That'll do. Thickness-wise, I think we're in the right neighborhood here. Let me just make it a tiny bit thinner. There we go. To modify this to actually come in contact with this. Kind of like that. We'll go ahead and loop cut and give ourselves another vertex here to extrude on. Perfect. And we'll array this bad boy, or not array, mirror. Perfect. Oh. Apply. We'll apply this array. Why do we have a boolean? Oh, I don't need that anymore. All right. Join these. We're making some progress on our wheel assembly here. This is looking a lot better than this. Extra detail just in little places will go a long way, especially since this is a focus of this accident, unfortunately, is the wheels. Alright, let's make our uplift wheel catcher holder, or whatever you want to call it. Move these booleans. Excuse me. Remove these booleans. Looks like we got a different texture for our holder on the uplifts, so we'll make that. And then we're going to fix the track, and then we're going to call it a day for the stream. Cursor to selected. I think we might make kind of a different shape for this one. Around that thickness. Something like this. This shouldn't be contacting the track here. Let's do a loop cut. feel like it's kind of a odd shape. We're not doing ourselves any favors making it any less odd. I don't know where I'm headed with this at this point. Maybe something like that is kind of, yeah. Maybe bullying it out. Alright, let's give that a shot. Yeah. Okay. See, I knew what I was doing all along. Mirror this thing over. And we may have to play with our array to make sure that this is actually the correct distance. Because clearly right now, we're not quite even. So we need less. Just need to look about right. Let's do 6. No. 0 other way. 0, 2. That should be about. So that's about close enough. I could just mirror. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Let's just do that. Boom. Now it's exactly right. Work smarter, not harder. Perfect. And with that, I believe we've got ourselves a functional wheel assembly. Looks pretty good, I must say. I'm pretty content with that. Alright, I did say we'll fix the track before we end the stream, so let's go ahead and do that now. This is the current one. Let's go ahead and import again. Let's save first. Import, no, let's do Jetline. Of course, the track is slightly offset. Our current one. We'll keep it that way just so we can tell a difference. And we're going to go ahead and move our track onto the new curve. And Jetline 001. Boom! Banking is back, everybody. See, told you the banking existed. And we can delete the original. See, told you it had banking. Looks much better. Cool. Alright, well, if you guys have nothing else that you want to ask, I think it's about time we wrap up the stream. Thanks for tuning in. Again, stay tuned. Plan is this Saturday, assuming all goes to plan. This video will be out to everybody, out to channel members at least a day in advance. Other than that, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.